In this video, we're going to turn my old slow paddleboard into the world's fastest.
This is the most amazing thing ever!
For those of you who don't know, a paddleboard is basically a surfboard that you stand on while using one big paddle to move forward. The problem is it's very slow. We're gonna turn this into something we can actually go fast on. Our plan's pretty simple. We're gonna take this rod, put it in this drill, and attach a small propeller to the end of it. We just gotta figure out how to build a propeller. This is what you have to do when you don't have a 3D printer. You gotta draw it out. This prop is super well balanced, which is really cool. Now we just have to bend the blades where it actually moves some water. Next, we got our 6-foot rod and mounted the propeller with 2 lock nuts. Next, we're gonna put a little metal thing on the back of the board where we can hold the rod in place to steer. And because the paddleboard's made of foam, there's nothing to screw our metal bracket onto, so we made a wooden plate that bolts down to 2x4s on the bottom. Then I grabbed the 2 metal plates we were going to use and welded them together.
This is freaking awesome. Yeah, that's what I'm saying, dude.
And once we knew everything worked as planned, it was time to take it to the lake. Alright, let's see if this works. 3, 2, 1. As soon as I spun the drill, the propeller was going at full speed. And underwater, it looks like we're flying. But unfortunately, that just wasn't the case. But this propeller was really small, and we thought maybe that's the reason the board's going so slow. So we made one double the size. Okay, first look how fast it's spinning. Look at that.
Wow, that definitely has more force.
3, 2, 1.
Whoa.
Oh my god, it's going so fast. I don't know if you guys can hear it, but the drill just like quits. It's not liking this. Oh no! Oh my god. We gotta find something else to spin this prop. So we got this. This was a 4-stroke weed whacker with over 2 horsepower. And it seemed a lot more powerful than the drill.
If that moves water, anything like it moves that air, I think we're gonna be fine here.
All we had to do to mount it was modify the back end just a little bit.
That works really good.
Yeah, look how good it turns. So the problem we're running into now is I'm still not going to be able to drive this. The controls for this weed whacker are way too far behind, so we have to figure out a way for me to steer it.
It's kind of convenient.
This is a steering cable off of an old boat. When you take this side and pull it out, this side comes in, and vice versa. That's how we're going to do our steering. Okay. Now, when the other end of the cable is pulled in, the board will turn left, and when it's pushed out, it'll turn right.
Check this out.
Next up was to make a set of handlebars to do the steering for us, where we won't have to worry about holding onto a cable with both hands. Our goal was to make this as lightweight and as simple as possible. Dude, that's it. Then we made a mount for the other side of the cable.
That's it. That's pretty sick, dude. Oh my gosh, it works.
Oh, that's wild, dude. Okay, dude, let's see if this works.
Got the paddle for reverse.
It's a little harder to balance on.
Is it?
Yeah.
Might be a little top heavy now. No way. Much better.
This board was an improvement to the drill. I could ride it around, it wasn't burning up, and I could even steer. But there's one obvious drawback, which is it only goes 5 miles per hour. So we're gonna do something a little better. All right, Colby, let's get a jet ski.
All right.
This is a 1992 Yamaha Wave Runner with 60 horsepower. And we're gonna strap it to my paddleboard. How in the world are we going to do this?
We better call Dad. Here's what we're gonna do.
Whenever Colby and I can't figure something out, we call our dad, because he usually has a plan. And the first thing we all came up with was to strip the jet ski down to nothing. Now we're gonna cut along the entire perimeter, and hopefully we'll just be able to lift the top up and off. By the way, check this out. Today, my box came in the mail. This box is called Flame, and inside it is a mini fire pit and a paddle to put it out when you're done. This was sent to me by Bespoke Post, and they're a monthly membership club delivering a box of awesome top shelf goods from under the radar brands. It's free to join, you can skip a month or cancel anytime.
So what we're gonna do is cut this jet ski down even further than you already have. And then we're gonna take the board, cut a big hole in it, and drop that down on top of the jet ski. Then we're gonna use fiberglass and make it one big piece. 3, 2, 1. Oh, we're connected to the hose. Oh, no, no. Whoa! That looks so cool.
90% of products come from small brands, many of which are based right here in the United States. Every box of Awesome has around $70 of goods inside, but only costs you a fraction of that value. Outdoor gear, barware, home and kitchen goods, clothing, it's all based on a preference quiz you fill out. So you'll get a box of Awesome assigned to you, and before it's shipped you can get a preview of what's inside, where you can decide to keep it, exchange it for something else, or just skip the month entirely. You only pay for what you want. The box that came in last month for me is called Chop. It came with an Alaskan ulu knife and a Chinese vegetable cleaver, which is great for me because I actually do a lot of cooking. To get 20% off your first box of Awesome, click the link in the description and enter the code Chay20 at checkout, or go to bespokepost.com/Chay20. So this hole right here is what we have to cut out of the board where we can put it on this.
Wow. This is ridiculous.
And once we got the paddleboard on top of the jet ski, we started mocking out our engine cover. We used foam to get the exact shape that we could trace onto wood and have the perfect piece. Oh, it fits. Look at that. Look at that.
This plate that we made needs to be secured down, so we're using these metal plates embedded in the foam in order to screw this thing down.
I'm welding on these nuts right here where we can have a place to screw into. It's not gonna rip right out of the old board. Once we got all of our mounting brackets in, it was time to start the fun part, which was fiberglassing. You know, fiberglass really is an amazing material. Anything you put on it becomes completely waterproof and extremely strong. Now that we've got the inside of the board wrapped in fiberglass, it's time to start doing the engine cover. Right now it's just a piece of wood with some foam on it, but we're going to change that completely. This is what happens when fiberglass dries. Now that we got this front completely solid and dry, we're gonna flip it and do the same thing to the bottom of it. Right now I'm taking the steering mount piece off the old jet ski and I'm gonna repurpose it for a new steering piece on our jet board. Here it is. Okay, so hooked up to the piece that I just cut out from the old jet ski, it looks like this. Now if I hold it still in the right spot, it'll turn. I'm gonna use the hole saw to cut a bunch of different rings. Then I'm gonna make one tube looking thing. Cut it at the angle I want, screw it all together, and then coat it in fiberglass to make it super strong and waterproof. Okay, this is a really, really big step. We are about to marry these two pieces together. Once we do this, there is no going back. This board has to be strong enough to handle the speed. If we hit waves, take corners, or even flip it, it has to stay in one piece. So we did 4 layers of fiberglass, which adds up to be 1/4 inch thick. So, these two are happily married now. Hopefully it'll be a long, separationless marriage. With our board looking like a rocket ship, it was finally time to start painting. We started everything off with a white marine gray primer. And of course, like everything since our bus, we went with a beautiful electric blue for our final coat. And after weeks of work, our board was done. Our paddleboard is finally at the lake. We have no idea what this thing's going to do. It's going to be fast. Way faster than the weed whacker. Okay, here we go. Not only did this thing sound insane, but even at its slowest speed, it was going faster than the weed whacker. You can see at first I was pretty uneasy. I didn't really know how to ride it, and I had no idea what kind of power it had. But after about 5 minutes of idling around, I gave it a little bit of gas. This thing was moving 6 or 7 miles per hour, and I was barely on the throttle. Then I gave it a little more gas. Then after about 10 minutes, I got comfortable enough to try somewhere around 15 miles per hour. But after another 30 minutes, I started to get comfortable. Dude, it's so fun! It was time for a top speed run. For me, this was a truly amazing moment. 3 years ago, I used this paddleboard in one of my very first videos. And back then, a little part of me hoped and dreamed that we would get to the point we could do something like this. And thanks to all of you, here we are.
that thing, man. Rebuild jet board, guys. Thank you so much for watching. I'll see you next video.